Alright, ladies and gents, boys and girls, let's take a look at this CZ Yak, which was a very fun plane to fly, and I actually got about 40 to 50 flights on it. Had a couple of hard landings here and there, and you know, I'm a good pilot. I don't fly planes into the ground, but I'm certainly not a great pilot. So I had some minor repairs I made. I sparred the fuse here because it tends to crack right back here behind the canopy, which is fine if you don't come in for a hard landing, but you can see where I put some spars in here. And this will probably cause Eflite to say, well, we're not going to warranty your plane. Another issue that I'm going to have is that because I replaced an EFLR 7140, the servo in question, from the original EFLR 7140 with the long lead, they don't cover collateral damage. And so now my $400 CZ Yak is collateral damage because of their recommended replacement part for this plane. So let's see here. I've got this hooked up to the rudder just so we won't have any Y harness questions in there. And as you can see, I'll come over here and actuate my rudder. Looks good. This is the original one that I stripped on a hard landing, and I've got this on elevator, I believe. You can see it works fine that way. That way, stripped gear. Gears are out of stock, so I had a couple of extra EFLR 7140s that I bought when I bought the plane, just to have on hand. So I installed this one in the plane, went through some pre-flight checks. It looked good, seemed fine, but then I got to the field and went through another pre-flight check, and it started deflecting full deflection. This is the aileron servos that I was replacing, obviously. So I took my other spare and I put it in there, and I went through about 10 pre-flight checks, and everything worked fine. Well, 20 seconds into the flight, it went disastrously wrong. And you can see just a little tapping on this case. Now, I'm not sure you really want to trust your $400 plane, possible spectator damage or car damage. You know, when a plane goes out of control like this, it can be hard to regain control, and you're never exactly sure where it's going to end up or what attitude it's going to end up in. Mine corkscrewed, and since I was only 20 seconds into the flight, I just didn't have enough time to basically turn the other aileron into either a spoiler or a flap, which at that point I might have been able to get back on the ground in one piece. I just didn't have the altitude to try it. So you can see what happens when you just lightly tap on this case. It's been suggested that this is an issue with the potentiometer and the case that it's in and being brittle, and that very well may be the case. I thought that possibly it was a short back here, but it's really hard to say. It's not supposed to do that though. So Eflite, y'all, and Horizon, y'all are usually very good with customer service. See, not even touching it. And in this case, I hope that you will step up to the plate and replace the people's planes that have gone into the ground, because you put a poorly manufactured servo in the plane. On a side note, you know, what you save in offshoring is probably made up for in quality defects, and this may be a very good argument for bringing some jobs back to the States.